So you want to change. You want to break free from stress and emotional chaos. You are sick and tired of being continuously anxious or having panic attacks. You want to stop being under the mercy of your own emotions, and you start looking for answers. But then you stress yourself even more by thinking that you should get the results like yesterday. I know because I have been there. I start this new program or I start using this new technique, and in a couple of days I start thinking, how come I'm not stress-free yet? How come I'm not this emotionally resilient woman? But let me explain to you a little bit about how our brains work, and maybe it will start making sense why we should not be um, expecting like super fast results in a very short time. So studies show that um, for us to develop a new habit, for that habit to become just um, a simple routine for us that we follow automatically, or when we're just running on autopilot, it takes at least 60 days. And why is that? Because because of the way the neurons communicate in the brain. So imagine that the brain is like a plane of grass, and the neural signal takes the path that is most traveled. Okay, so on that grass plane you have a little path in there, and we program ourselves with time to have certain reactions to certain stressors. And so most of the time our reactions are just, automatic, and they are just the program that we already have within. And that is the nervous signal traveling through that neural pathway that is most traveled. Okay? So for us to create a new reaction, a new baseline, for us to react a new way of, to create a new way of thinking and reacting to certain events, we have to train the neural message, the neural signal, to travel in a different neural pathway. And so what we need to do on that grass plane is we start walking a different path. We forge a path, a new one. Okay, and so this becomes, with repetition, with consistency, with commitment, it becomes the new neural pathway, and the old one slowly starts, disappearing, and we start reinforcing the new one. Okay, and so, like I said, it takes time. It takes daily dedication and commitment to whatever that habit that you want to create. Okay, for example, you're starting to use this new tool or new technique. You have to give it at least a couple of months for you to start seeing, like dramatic results. Okay, and that is why in my coaching program I coach women at least for 3 months, so that we can forge new neural pathways, build a new baseline, and of course using science-based tools and techniques that work in alignment with our internal physiology. And I think that it is really important that we learn how our brains work, so that we work in alignment with that mechanism and not against it. So it's important that I tell you how these new habits are going to be incorporated or integrated in your routine, and why it is that important to have that level of commitment so that we could create that change. So it is really not something reasonable to expect from yourself to change overnight. It just doesn't happen. Your brain is not wired that way. And for anything, your brain is going to resist whatever change you try to start. And so it is important that, during my coaching program, that we notice where the resistance is coming up, and we try to kind of like outsmart it. So whatever journey of change that you are starting right now, please note that you have to be dedicated to that journey. You have to have consistency and commitment, and please don't overpressure yourself and like stress yourself even more by thinking that I have to have results like in a very short period of time or like overnight. It doesn't happen. Change that happens this fast, it's due to a trauma or a near-death experience, and you don't want that. Okay. So you can create change. You're able to create change. Studies show that you can, but it requires commitment on your behalf. Daily work with, you being consistent and committed to yourself. Really, this is your commitment to yourself. So I really felt like sharing this with you all, because I see how much we overstress ourselves with just adding a deadline for when we should become this great version of ourselves, when we should reach that state of perfection. We just, we put a deadline on that. It doesn't happen that way. Okay, so just try to forget the idea that you have to change in 24 hours. It doesn't happen unless it's really a trauma or near-death experience. So this is what I would be working on during my coaching program. I would be, telling you about how your brain works and how your brain is going to be, and your nervous system really is going to be reacting to the techniques and tools that I will be teaching you. And if you want to know more about this coaching program, how I incorporate science-based tools and techniques, how I incorporate feminine energy techniques so that I could help you break free from emotional chaos and stress, and connect to your inner feminine essence, just DM me and I'll take it from there. Thank you.